Walk into any marine dealer right now, look around, everything on that floor is designed to die, and nobody in the building is going to tell you that. The guy behind the counter is not going to explain that the outboard he is selling you has an electronic control unit with a shelf life shorter than your truck payment. He is not going to mention that the trolling motor on the end cap has a plastic housing that will crack after 2 seasons in the sun. He is definitely not going to tell you that the fish finder he is ringing up will be obsolete before you figure out how to use half the features. They do not sell you gear. They sell you a cycle. Buy it, use it, watch it fail, come back, buy the next one. But here is the thing, in every single product category on your boat, there is one option that does not play that game. One that the guys who actually make a living on the water already know about. One that the mechanics quietly recommend when the sales rep walks away. 5 products, 5 categories. This is the forever list. Number 5, the outboard. Walk into a dealer and you are going to hear a pitch about touchscreen gauges, drive-by wire throttle, a phone app that lets you monitor your engine from your living room, and a payment plan that makes 15 grand feel like pocket change. What nobody mentions is how long that engine actually runs before the ECU starts drifting. And the dealer tells you the repair bill is more than a repower. Most outboards today are built around a 4 to 6 year ownership window. The manufacturers know exactly what they are doing. The electronics hit a price point, not a lifespan. The cowlings are plastic. The diagnostic software sits behind a dealer-only laptop. And when something goes sideways at 2,000 hours, the shop looks at you like you already got your money's worth. The Yamaha F-150 does not live in that world. This engine has been around in one form or another for over 20 years, and there is a reason it is still the most requested repower in the business. It is not the most powerful in its class. It is not the lightest. It does not come with the fanciest gauge package. What it has is a 4-stroke inline 4 that has been refined to the point where it flat out refuses to quit. Charter guys along the Gulf and through the Keys have put 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 hours on F-150s without cracking the powerhead. That is not Yamaha marketing. That is real data from captains running 6 days a week, 50 weeks a year, full throttle in saltwater for hours straight. And the engine is only part of it. Yamaha still offers mechanical cable throttle on a lot of their lineup. No computer between your hand and the motor. You push the lever, the cable pulls the throttle. If something breaks, any mechanic with the basic wrench set can sort it out. You are not sitting at the dock waiting for a dealer to plug in his laptop and charge you $200 to reset a sensor. Parts are the other half. Blow an impeller on a 2006 Yamaha, and you can walk into damn near any marine shop in the hemisphere and have the part on the counter in 2 days. They have the biggest dealer network on the planet, and they support their engines for decades after the model year ends. The F-150 is not glamorous. It is never going to win a spec sheet argument at the dock. But while the guy next to you is shopping for his 3rd repower because the electronics on his bargain motor fried in the salt, yours is still firing on the 1st turn. That is why it is here. Number 4, the trolling motor. Every big box marine store has the same wall. A row of trolling motors that all look identical. Plastic shells, little screens, Bluetooth, an app that promises to hold your boat in place using satellites. Sounds great in the aisle. Here is what the aisle does not tell you. The boards in most of those motors are the first to go. Heat stacks up inside the plastic housing. The speed controller fries itself when you push it hard in July. The electrical connections corrode. When the main board dies, you are not swapping a $20 component. You are replacing the entire control head for $400, if the manufacturer even sells one. Half the time, they just tell you to buy the new model. The shaft is the other problem. Budget trolling motors use fiberglass shafts that snap in cold water or bend the first time you clip something under the surface. Once that shaft cracks, water floods the lower unit, and it is over. Minn Kota has been at this since 1934. 90 years. The Riptide Terrova is their saltwater line, and it is built on one idea: keep the salt out and keep the thing spinning. The shaft carries a lifetime warranty. Not 3 years, not 5. Lifetime. The digital maximizer pulses power instead of running constant current, which stretches battery life and cuts heat buildup in the motor. Heat is what kills trolling motors. Every single one. Minn Kota engineered around it. The iPilot GPS with spot lock actually does what it promises. It holds you on a point within 5 feet using GPS. Guides and tournament guys depend on it every day. The early versions had problems, and Minn Kota owned it, redesigned the boards, and the units built after 2017 have failure rates in line with their standard motors. But the reason the Terrova belongs on this list is the same reason the Yamaha does. You can fix it yourself. Brush kit, prop swap, pedal replacement, all of it can be done at the dock or in your garage without calling anyone. Parts are available. Diagrams are available. You are not locked out of your own equipment. When a competitor's $2,000 motor dies at 18 months, their answer is another $2,000 motor. When something wears on a Terrova, you order the part, bolt it on, and go fishing. That is the difference between owning something and renting it. Number 3, the Fish Finder. Marine electronics is where the churn really gets ugly. The upgrade cycle in this category makes the phone industry look patient. Every year, the big names push out a new unit with a slightly brighter screen, a slightly better sonar mode, and a new firmware feature that only runs on the latest hardware. The unit you bought 24 months ago still works fine, but suddenly, the new chart pack is not compatible. The transducer connector changed. The software update is only for current models. You get nudged toward the register gently at first, then not so gently. The Garmin EchoMap UHD2 is about as close to an off-ramp as this category gets. The display uses IPS panels that are brighter and more readable in direct sun than anything Lowrance or Humminbird puts out at the same price. And they have largely solved the delamination issue that has killed more fish finders than salt water ever did. Screen delamination, where the layers separate and you get bubbles or dead spots, used to be an industry-wide plague. The UHD2 generation handles it. The transducer setup is where Garmin pulls ahead. The GT56 that ships with most UHD2 bundles runs Chirp, ClearView, and SideView through one unit, one cable, one through hull, one thing to maintain. And if you want to add live sonar down the road, the UHD2 supports Panoptix LiveScope without buying a new head unit. You upgrade the sonar, not the whole system. That is unusual in this market. The mapping matters too. Lake View charts come loaded with contour data for thousands of bodies of water, and the base maps are included in the price. You are not paying a subscription to see the bottom. Garmin sells premium map products, but the unit works fully out of the box without another dollar spent. It is not flawless. Garmin service can be hit or miss, and transducers across every brand are consumable parts that will eventually die. But a UHD2 you buy today will still be pulling its weight 5 years from now. And that is more than most of the stuff on that showroom wall can promise. Number 2, the trailer. Nobody cares about the trailer until it quits on them, and it always quits in the worst spot. On the interstate, at the ramp with a line of trucks behind you, or slowly under the boat in your driveway, rusting through the crossmembers while you are inside watching the game. Most boat trailers in America are painted steel, thin wall tubing with a coat of paint that starts flaking the first time you back into the water. 2 seasons in, and you have rust at every weld, every bolt hole, every point where metal touches metal. The bearings lock up because the seals were garbage and the grease was not marine rated. The springs corrode and flatten out. the wiring fails because somebody crimped the connections with a pair of pliers and called it waterproof. A painted steel trailer in salt water lasts maybe 5 years before you are staring at a rebuild or a replacement. That is not a defect. That is the plan. Galvanized is better. Hot dip galvanizing puts zinc on every surface, inside and out, and it buys you real time, 10 to 15 years if you maintain it. But zinc wears through eventually, especially at stress points and bolt holes, and once it does, the steel underneath goes just as fast as bare metal. The real answer is aluminum. Aluminum does not rust. It does not need a coating. It does not need zinc. It forms its own protective oxide layer naturally, and it does not care if you park it in salt spray for a decade. The frame stays solid. EZ Loader has been building trailers since 1953, and their aluminum I-tube beam design runs the brake lines and wiring inside the frame, away from road debris and corrosion. Load-Right builds aluminum frames with all stainless hardware and torsion axles that ride better and outlast leaf springs. Aluminum costs more. No way around it. $600 to $1,000 more than a comparable galvanized rig, depending on size. But run the numbers the dealers never run for you. A painted steel trailer at $1,800 that you replace every 5 years is $3,600 over a decade, plus the lost Saturdays spent wire brushing rust, plus the emergency bearing job at the ramp, plus the day you missed on the water because the wiring shorted out on the highway. An aluminum trailer at $2,800 that you buy once is $2,800. Total. Forever. The most expensive trailer you will ever own is the cheap one you buy twice. Get the aluminum. Forget it exists. Go fishing. Number 1. The battery. Everything on the boat runs on power. The engine cranks with it, the trolling motor pulls from it, the fish finder, the live well, the lights, the radio. All of it comes from the battery bank. And for as long as most of us have been boating, the industry has been perfectly happy selling us the worst possible technology to deliver it. Lead acid dates back to 1859. The chemistry sitting under your console right now is over 160 years old. And the marine market kept selling it to you because lead acid has one quality that manufacturers love. It dies on schedule. A marine AGM gives you 300 to 500 cycles before capacity drops off. For a weekend boater, that is about 3 years. Then the voltage starts sagging under load. The trolling motor gets sluggish by 2 in the afternoon. The fish finder reboots when the live well kicks on. You throw the battery out, spend $200 on a new one, and do it all again. 300 cycles, 3 years, $200, over and over. The Battleborn BB112 runs on lithium iron phosphate, completely different chemistry, 3,000 to 5,000 full cycles, tested, documented, backed by a 10-year warranty from a company in Reno, Nevada that has been building these for over a decade. Do the math. A $200 AGM replaced 5 times over 10 years is $1,000. A $900 Battleborn that lasts the full run is $900, and you drop 30 pounds per battery, which anyone running a small boat will feel immediately. The real gap is usable capacity. Lead acid can only discharge to 50% without wrecking the plates. Your 100 amp-hour battery is really a 50 amp-hour battery. The Battleborn gives you every amp hour on the label, all of it, no penalty. The BMS inside is not a generic board pulled off a shelf. Battleborn designed it for their own cells, and they test every unit before it ships. Overcharge, over-discharge, short circuit, cold weather cutoff, all handled internally. And when you need help, you are calling Reno, not a warehouse overseas. Their support team actually picks up, and their warranty process is one of the few in this industry that guys on the forums do not complain about. That says something. Lead acid is the cheap, non-stick pan of boating. It works for a little while, it is everywhere, and you end up replacing it constantly. The Battleborn is the cast iron. Costs more upfront, lasts so long your kids could use it, stop replacing, start owning. 5 categories, 5 products, 1 pattern. The marine industry runs the same game as everyone else. Build cheap, make it shiny, engineer the failure just past the warranty, and when it breaks, make sure buying a new one is easier than fixing the old one. Every product on this list breaks that cycle. The Yamaha runs for thousands of hours because it was built for guys who cannot afford a day off the water. The Minn Kota survives because you can service it yourself. The Garmin lasts because it does not force you onto a treadmill. The aluminum trailer holds up because the material itself will not rot. And the Battleborn outlasts everything on the boat because the chemistry is just better than what they have been selling you your entire life. The most expensive thing on your boat is not the one with the biggest price tag. It is the one you have to buy twice. Stop buying the brochure. Stop buying the payment plan. Stop buying the app. Buy the metal. Buy the motor that starts. Buy the battery that lasts and build a rig that outlives the marketing.